Okay, so today's the day we are going to start working on my grandfather's clunker. Well, I got this bike, it was my grandfather's bike, and he was big into dune buggies and cars his whole life. And I figured that if he would have been into bikes, he would have been into clunkers. So first thing first, we're going to see if the seat post is stuck. And go from there. Haven't been able to age the bike yet. It's a trophy, so not too much information online that I found yet on the brand. It is skip tooth, so that puts it in the 40s, late 40s, I think, is my guess on here. And that would kind of fit the timeline of him having it. Now I don't remember him ever riding this, nor does any of my aunts or uncles, but we remember they all remembered stories of my grandpa and grandma riding, so it'll just be interesting. Won't be able to find out any information, unfortunately, as they have both passed, but it'll be fun to have this to remember him by. Ooh, well. The saddle has come off. It moves. Is a good sign. We're going to take the handlebar and the saddle off and turn them into one of those kind of like deer head displays, and we're going to hang it up in either here at the shop or in my dad's wood shop. We haven't, decided where we're gonna put it, but either way, it'll make a fun little memorial piece. We'll get that done. So I won't be using this saddle. That's why he had it taped, because she's broken. So the post is just a little stuck. It's moving, but it's just a little stuck. So we're going to do the old pickle fork trick. Okay, so now that we have the seat post removed, kind of the next step in the plan will be just to pull out the seat post. We can get this up in the stand. We're going to remove the fenders and pull out the old crankset, because we will be putting in one of the Truvative adapters, so I can run the threaded bottom bracket to run some cool square taper cranks that I have. Pulling the stem and the bar. Hopefully they're not stuck. Goal is they're going to go with the saddle to be part of the saddle deer head design that we're making. So as I mentioned before, it's a trophy, which I haven't heard of much, and a few of my friends that are big into old cruisers didn't know much about either. But let me not bore you with the basics, just getting the fenders off, and I will be back shortly. So we got the stem out, but in the process found something kind of interesting. You can see here that it was totally broken. I may be using this fork. I like the look of it, and it seems pretty sturdy for being an older cruiser fork, but I haven't decided yet. if I may put on a more of a mountain bike fork so I can run a front brake. I kind of like having front brakes with my coaster brakes clunkers when I take them off-roading, just to I feel a little bit more secure. But yeah, so gonna get her up in the stand here and finish taking the fenders off. So next step, now we have the fenders off, is just to pull this crank out. So we're gonna hope that these bad boys aren't rusted, and we will find out here shortly. Yeah. Feels nice and loose. And none of the fender bolts were stuck either, so I was worried about those, because these were just normal flathead, so they can be hard to get a hold of if you need to. So you can see we got the cups out. It's pretty corroded in there, but nothing a little bit of steel wool and wire brushes won't take care of. It's getting a lot more, it's cleaning up real nice. It's probably at least been painted at least once, if not twice. You can see that the headset cups are painted. But I'm into the rat rod style clunkers. My other one is a Cleveland Welding Co. 1948 or 1949, and it is way more rat roddy than this one. So I'll show you some footage of that one too. I'm just going to keep cleaning here and get this ready for the next steps. So the decision has been made for us on the fork, because unfortunately, as you can probably see, the steer tube is pretty bent. There's also rubbing, put some pretty good grooves in where it was bent. So we will be switching out to a different fork. So that makes the decision easy on keeping this one or not. Probably will try to do something fun with this one, along with the, mix it in with the saddle and the bar. Be part of the display. So we're gonna keep it and try to find something fun to use it for, but we will instead be switching to something else. So I think we're gonna go downstairs and just kind of take a look. Don't mind the messy shop. What we have for a fork. I don't think we're gonna do anything red, because it's gonna be hard to get the right tone red. So maybe black or chrome or something in that. Something like that. So let's go take a look. Pretty good selection of forks on hand. But we're probably going to want to stay in that 1-inch threaded, and I'm leaning towards rigid. I would have some suspension options, but I think I just like the simplicity of a clunker, of a rigid clunker. So this is kind of our 1-inch threaded area, and I didn't measure how much steer I'm going to need, but this is a good option if it's long enough. That could be a fun option. Don't think I'm digging the pink or the red. This could be cool. An old raw braised fork would for sure fit the kind of rat rod style that I'm after. So that's an option. I'm gonna leave the breezers alone just because we have some breezer frames that actually could use those. Ooh, that could be fun. Kind of a smoke. Probably came off a Diamondback. That could be fun. And I do got a chrome one. And unfortunately, I don't know, so there's an option too. I'm less interested in chrome. I'm not the biggest fan of chrome myself. Another breezer fork. This one would be, yeah, I think this is too short of steer. So those would pretty much be our options in the way of 1-inch threaded, unless we did want to do suspension, but I'm not seeing anything that really trips my trigger in the way of, because I do want to use threaded, because I want to use a quill stem. Again, I just like how the quill stems look on a clunker build. And that's the cool thing about custom building bikes is, it's what we want to do. So we're gonna grab these forks, these 3 forks, and we're gonna go see how these look on the bike. I have the forks. So we're just gonna kind of see what we think. So that one's gonna be too short. The length of the steer tube is gonna for sure. We could. That one's probably just long enough. I could be down for that. I could for sure be down with that. Okay, green is going to be too short. Green would make it be kind of a Christmas bike. I like those 86 Bridgestone MB2s. I have a wheel that I'm thinking about using, front wheel, that I've been waiting for the proper build. Pineapple hub, green, Rasta skewer, laced to a Mavic 217, but then all the spoke nipples, are rotating different colors. And then obviously the obvious thing, it's, laced with the twisted spokes. So I'm not sure if this is the project. Oh, we got the shop dogs come to visit. I'm not sure if this is the project for this bike, but I wanted this to go on a cool bike, and this is a cool bike. For the rear, I'd probably then find a matching Mavic 217 to lace a coaster brake hub into. Let's give ourselves an idea of what this could look like. I think that would be pretty amazing. I'm all for funky colors. I think with the green anodized hub, it gives us room to play with other anodized parts and just toss in all the colors we think are cool. So the anodized crank. I do have a red Cook Brothers that I could use. I also have a Cambria. Ooh, that cup came right out. We will be using a different headset. I like heavy. I don't want to use paint matched cups just because I don't like how they look. It's really starting to get my brain moving. And I have a buddy who brazes handlebars, so he's going to braze up a cruiser bar. So yeah, we'll probably cut this episode off here, and then we'll have another as we start to install the bottom bracket adapter, bottom bracket. I'll find a crankset and a headset, and I think we will be going with this fork for now until we. And if I change my mind, I change my mind. That's the great thing about having a huge stockpile of parts is you can always just keep changing it until it's perfect. But I would love to get it up and ready to ride.